drive. I wouldn't be able to get back to the driveway.
You would, just don't know how.
I had to back up. If I backed up, I can do it right back in.
You just Dukes a hazard.
Oh yeah.
I got good at that. So, just to give you a thing, Matt's trying to get us on.
The Facebook didn't work last week neither.
Then do what we got to do.
Huh? Something's wrong. That's what it means. But it's so this one's good now, right?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. YouTube, sorry, had a little technical difficulties tonight. Welcome to another great show of Go On Fishing. I'm Ray. That's Mr. Maz. They said, as your friend yesterday said to me, oh, Mr. Mazzola.
Yes, sir. So Ray went out to dinner with his wife last night, and have my students from the area. I said, no, that's for Gage, and then I regretted it. Going, oh shit, I never warned Gage.
I was good.
You were good. I said, behave. I told you behave, and
Always behave.
I know.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
But anyway,
You don't always behave.
YouTube, TikTok, everybody, they're the only ones. We don't have any Facebook again. We don't know what's going on. But anyway, it's warming up Delaware. All you locals, it's warming up. Checking out the 20-day, 30-day outlook. Temperatures are coming up. In another week and a half, I'll be in Costa Rica. It'll be 90. I'm going to bring some of that heat back with me.
Yep.
So we get an early spring bite in March. We get to go out and go subsurface fishing.
Subsurface.
Or snake of the.
Oh yeah, we can. I've actually been watching.
It is, the temperatures are going to, like, we're getting a little storm.
We need 65 in the air, and then water temperature. Look for the warmest water temperature because they're going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry. Bass, snakes, those warm weather fish. They're going to come out of the depths and they're going to look for the warmest water so they can be more active hunters. Just saying, that's what we need to do. Been watching online. That's what everyone's saying. Go to the warm water. So actually, for the most part, on the pond, when I have, so I run my hummingbird. I can't. It's not really worth anything to see because there's a lot of weeds and stuff. Mostly, I run it for find the warmest.
Oh yeah.
Because I could see the bottom in the channels, and I really need water temperature. So we're about to go into that season. I mean, being a little ambitious, we got a little time there. But I've been watching online. People have been catching mad perch, which is a good sign. That's telling us stuff to come. And I'm saying white perch, but yellow perch too. I don't know if you saw, there was one of those perch. I have to find it. Was gorgeous. It had like 8 lines and stripes.
Oh yeah. I saw some stuff down in Maryland. They're catching a bunch.
Yeah, and this thing was beautiful.
Yeah,
big bull perches, the big brown stuff like that.
yeah. I have seen some nice yellow perch being caught this week. They are doing that. That's for sure.
So these people are taking care of business. So coming into the warm weather, like right now, there you go. And I got my car here. It's coming.
It was actually raining. Well, like
yesterday was
like foggy this morning. Like so, like everywhere I went was like misty. But I don't know if it was just the road spray on 95 or if it was just it was foggy,
No, it was.
but then like it was one of my jobs when I got there. It was still drizzling a little bit when I got there, so it definitely was raining.
Yesterday, I actually had to run some errands alone. I had to be on time for a little bit. It was like one of those days that killed you.
Got windy as shit though outside.
That-
It did get really windy.
So another thing I've been checking out is like my friends up north and out on the lakes. I've seen Christy Grote, but nice walleye, nice walleye. So if you guys want, check out Christy Grote's account on Facebook. He's out there on looked like a dune buggy across the lake. That was kind of cool. You got some nice. So, Ray, what do you want to talk about? Because I got
Well,
nothing.
we got some spring fishing coming up, and I would like to talk the early bite, subsurface, like we've been talking about. You know, something with a little underspin.
Mhm.
You know, how deep would you run?
Depends on.
You're fishing like you're just fishing on a river.
So I'm not into with rivers.
Not
I'm a pond guy.
not Susquehanna. I'm talking like where we went fishing during the summertime.
Okay.
Like when we went fishing. So think about like that kind
Right
of fish.
outside the channel.
Yeah. What are you throwing? Are you throwing nothing but spinner baits, or are you throwing a paddle tail down there, a little? Huh?
I'm
You have
throwing.
both hooked. You have both sets hooked up with spinner bait and
So okay. Here's the one thing that I really want to work. Chatterbait. Everyone
chatterbait's good
says
too.
chatterbait early spring bait. I just don't have a lot of
Yeah.
chatterbait. So I want to work on that this year. I
I don't
have.
really think you have to have experience with them, like what you're
I
thinking.
don't know.
I think because I've used them. I've used them at like
Have you used them effectively?
I've gotten bites on them, but I've never caught one on it. But I've gotten
That
hits on it. So
that's the effectively.
right, so like dragon run for example, going along lily pads. I'll throw right on the outside of the lily pad, not in the lily pad. Like I'll throw like if you're going up the weed line, I'll cast along the weed line. I'll just reel right back in. Last year I started doing it on my bait caster. So every little flap and that.
Yep.
It felt freaking amazing. You're just waiting for something to crush it. But I was also using it during the summertime. I was just messing with it just because I had bought a bunch of them. Um, the Bellas had some big sale last year on these chatterbaits. It was like buy five get three free, something I don't know, something weird like that. So I just bought a shit ton of them. But
I feel like with those takes a little finesse, one,
yeah, oh yeah,
but also it seems that like the type of bait that when you know how to use it, they will crush.
yeah,
And also often expressed to me that you like that dark purple metal flame type, and that's what I've been told is your spring
yeah,
chatterbait.
yeah,
So I have those. I just want to work them a little bit more. Try to figure out side of the channels,
yeah.
um, where I'm guessing where
The other,
multiple areas come in
I
and
never,
congregate.
I never used any in Jersey, Northeast River, Northeast Creek.
Okay.
That's where I threw 'em. Actually, I caught a snakehead on my one in there.
I'm, I haven't.
Actually, actually caught three largemouth on the same chatterbait.
So we got our chatterbait and spinnerbaits.
Mm.
So
Spinnerbaits are good. I like
the
spinner.
other question is, do you put a tattletale or some Mr. Twister or something under the skirt in your spinnerbait or chatterbait?
Hmm. I'd have to look at.
You
The
know what I mean?
chatterbait already has a skirt.
has the skirt, but then there's the hook, and a lot of people
Put a little,
will put a paddle tail or a mixer
you can
twist.
put a little penalty in, or just, oh, I always do that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just don't throw the chatterbait. I
But some
always
people just throw the chatter.
yeah, yeah, no, I don't put something on. Oh, absolutely.
I
More enticing,
this is why I don't.
especially with a paddle tail. Um, good thing about a paddle tail is, get that back, that skirt will sit there and then you're getting that vibration. Dude, it's fucking psychotic. Oh, yeah.
But it'll also alter it instead of just going straight. It move a
Yeah.
if you, especially if you put a bigger, stiffer paddle tail on.
Now, spinnerbait, I'll throw just plain spinnerbait, but sometimes I put something on the back just to give it a little more action.
So, in my experience with the spinnerbait, if you have a bigger spinnerbait, I just like the spinnerbait with
I
the
think that's two spinners
but
on.
you the if a smaller spinnerbait get that extra action and make it elongate it a little
Mm,
bit. That that's been beneficial. But spinnerbaits are also new. I'm not so super used to it.
a
And
lot of
but
snakes and stones.
but I don't know. You guys remember the pig and jig
Pig and jig, jig and pig.
back in the day? That I think that's what we used to call it. They
I
used to
still have
sell.
them.
They used to sell those jars of like frog skin formaldehyde shit.
Well, I don't have the
You,
jars.
you know what I'm talking
But I
about
know what
now?
you're talking about. I don't have them. I have the little, they're called pig and jigs. That's what they hook up like.
But it was like dyed
Oh, yeah,
pig
yeah.
skin or
No,
whatever,
I know what you're talking about.
and throw it on the back of a spinnerbait or
Yep.
chatterbait, and it would give it that extra
Smell.
action.
Smell.
And I've seen them coming back. Actually, they disappeared
Yeah.
for a while, but I've seen them coming back. So I wonder. I mean, they were really effective.
Yeah. They really were. It's funny because I'm trying to think if I could find stuff in my tackle box real quick of like one I have now that I it's the same concept, and I use it a lot up at the lake where we go. I usually do that like late summer when it's real hot and I want to get down 20 foot of water and I know where I'm at. I'll drop and just like drop it straight out of my kayak and just bounce it and keep pedaling. You know what I mean? Feeling what I'm doing, and I get some pretty good rips on it. But it's the little lure I use to get with a little bit of weight on it. Blue and black shirt,
Yeah, of
black with purple flake and blue flake. Freaking ready for this? As I used the little Ned wriggle.
course you do.
Yeah,
You're a Ned Rig
The
guy.
little Ned, put the little Ned worm on there. Hey, oh, look out. That's action. But it's just good.
But
But then,
I figured that would be a good early spring thing because you get that initial bite, and if they bump it, but they get the smell.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The other thing I want to mention that I'm interested in, I don't know if you've used it. Put it in comments. Um, it's really hard for me to comments because I have such a small screen in front of me and I'm not seeing, for whatever reason, I don't know why I'm not seeing comments on it. Matt, do you know why I can't get comments on this? And can you look, see if I can? But there is the Gulp Platter Claw, which I'm really interested in. Gulp bait, and it's crawdad, crayfish, depending on where you are, and it's got rattles in its claws, like something that, and it's got a guard on its hook, so it. But I'm really interested in this drag slowly across which dig up, but do something like that um early season when the crayfish are coming out because we all know crayfish piss off largemouth bass, smallmouth bass. Some of the biggest bass been caught on crawdads. Wait,
Crawl,
what the hell?
crawdads, crawdads are really good.
Oh, I know.
Crawdads are really good.
We both use crawdad rattle traps. We use crawdad crankbaits. But like this is a soft plastic with rattles in the claws, so it gives that extra disturbance. No,
I like that rattle in the claws though.
me too. I want to try it. Matt, you didn't get it. Oh, oh shit. Okay. So,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find something to show and tell, and for some odd reason,
so Ray's doing show and tell.
I'm trying to find something.
So I'm gonna order some of those. And I'm pretty sure it's called by Gulp, but it's a platter club. Let's try that. There's a lot of, especially up the Susquehanna, that area where there's a lot of rocks, so there's a lot of crawdads, crayfish, whatever you want to call them. So I know right now, white perch, they're coming in. People are catching them. Yellow perch, um, around here, blue catfish. Gosh, dude, I saw someone catch a catfish, ice fish. What you got here?
So,
You do that.
so like basically, like we were talking about jigging down low and stuff like that. So you were talking about
Look it up.
like a trailer
Watch
here.
my
You thought
phone.
so. So basically, this little trailer here, this little thing here. You bring this thing down in water, it just sits there. But I usually use a little bit bigger of one, uh, bigger crawdad, so there's or just a rubber worm on it. But dropping that down, going down along them rocks, just straight underneath the kayak, dude, fire out in the lake, man, fire.
Another thing people have mentioned is lipless crankbaits, and just accept you're gonna lose some. Just slowly bounce them around the bottom now, where the fish are sitting. So any feedback on the whole lipless crankbait thing? Like, you know, I see big fish sitting down there that are somewhat dormant. They're as the water gets a little warmer, they're gonna get hungry and they're gonna use as little energy as possible to find their prey. So I haven't tried it, but that lipless crankbait, some of them are but buy the cheap ones. Like
Hmm,
anyway,
sorry, I was
no,
trying
you're
to
good.
find. I don't know. I'm trying to find my crankbait box.
No.
I know I got one. I have a little one. I just kept little, and I can't find what I did with it. But I wanted to show you.
So this is first world problems. He's sitting over here. He's got so many lures. Can't find his one lure. So right,
I didn't have it.
okay over there.
Yeah, I'm lost. Lost in them. I'm trying to find them. I know they're mixed in a box. That's why I'm like trying to. But I don't know what I did with them. They're somewhere. I'll have to look
So
for them for
while
next.
Ray's looking,
Unreal. This.
Ray's like really bougie. He's got that many lures.
Mixed in with like rubber worms, I think, and I don't know what pack they're in.
Okay, how many trays do you have in that box?
Um, 12.
Only I thought it held 13.
Well, it only holds 12, but I can get 13 in there. But there's only 12 in there. I combined
Now,
everything.
again, first world problems.
All combined. Nicely, too. And I already did my spring cleanup on it.
So Ray weighs like 135 pounds, and his tackle box
165.
weighs about 140,
150.
150. So what happens is I have to carry Ray in his tackle box
Yeah. I mean, my tackle box.
now.
It is.
So Ray,
Yes.
bring it back in. We'll
I'm
find it
going
later.
to. Give me one more second. Good. Keep going. Now you're good. I
Ray's
think
on a mission.
I'm trying to look at one section where it could be.
Anyway, um, I have been itching to get back out on the pond. Some of my ponds, actually, one of my first ones I like to go to is they stock some of the ponds in Maryland, and they stock them with trout late winter. It's just an when you're it's not my when you're itching to get on the water and you go with friends. It's just nice to get out there, make a couple casts, but it also gives you some practice. I mean, you don't use your bait caster or your spinner for a while. You don't want your the beginning of your fishing season, tournament season, be when you're making your first. You want to make do a little practice before. So I love that, but I also like just love to get out in the water and hang. A lot. You lost it
No. They're mixed in there, and I just can't figure out which box they're in. I'm just not gonna
again.
dig.
First world problem. When
Yeah.
you got so many lures, you can't find the one
Oh no,
you're
all the lures I can find. It's just I don't know what to do.
looking. So, right. What I was thinking about. What time is it right now?
6, 7 o'clock, 7:54.
So I know this is your. So I'm gonna put you on this.
All right, far away.
We've been doing this for about a year, but people don't know who Ray Ham.
Okay.
So let me ask you a few questions. Is that cool?
Yeah,
So
if to get personal, is it? I might
I'm not gonna get.
not.
Oh,
Okay.
that's it. So what is your first memory?
Fishing with my dad. About 6 years old, trout fishing. So push
Where?
button. Where was I? In Pennsylvania. Um, there's a camp up there called Camp Saginaw. We used to park at the Camp Saginaw Bridge. I walked underneath the bridge. Dad let me put a spinner on. Only way to shut me up. He always spinner fish, but it always made me just throw corn up, put a kernel of corn out
So
there.
if I
Yeah,
is that what happened?
yeah.
No, but
So
for
anyway,
real.
so my first three casts with a spinner ever, caught a trout. Been spinner fishing there ever since.
How old?
Like 6, 7.
Really?
Yeah,
So then, was that your first memory of catching a fish?
yeah. I
Okay.
can really remember.
So what what was your how do I put it? What's your favorite fish to catch? What is
I
your
don't really have a favorite. Um,
what? Okay, then let's change that. What like looking back? What was your I'm hooked on fishing?
ooh, I would say I was about 17, 16, 17 maybe, and I went to Holtwood Dam, wore a pair of old sneakers, walked across with a little white, black little Rapala, like a little shad rack. Like, we had bucket of minnows, we had bait too, we had hooks and stuff, but I took some shad wraps and some little stuff. I didn't have a lot of stuff then. I mean, I had stuff, but not like a lot.
Hmm.
Walked across, half hour there, I had already caught maybe 10 smallmouth, all on the same lure. Caught my first walleye ever. Actually ended up catching 7 walleye that day. Caught my first hybrid, a hybrid striper.
Hmm.
Caught my first hybrid there that day. Caught 3 catfish on the Rapala.
What's the hell with that?
Missed, missed probably about a 6 pound smallmouth. Had them near the. We were wading in the dam, so you've been there. You know what I'm talking
Yep.
about. We were actually wading in the dam right behind
On
us.
the other side, on the
Yeah,
left.
yeah. So we walked the ledge, but we'd walk all the way across. It didn't used to be the same as what it is now. It's way different. Back in the day, it was way different. But you can walk all the way across. You still can walk all the way across, but not supposed to get so close to our spot, but it's fire on that side too. But they release water a lot, so you can't be there. Current talk will kill you, so you can't even be over there. But that's all good. But anyway, we walked all the way over there, started fishing with minnows, and we just banged smallmouth out smallmouth. But anyway, that day, my first day there, I think I caught like 50 some fish. It was the greatest day of my life. It was funny. We all back then we all smoked cigarettes, but because we were waiting, we're like, yeah, we ain't taking our cigarettes across, man. It has to fall in the water. Cigarettes are ruining it, so we didn't do it. We didn't take our cigarettes there. We left the show, buddy. And he goes out. He's like, I gotta have something. So he puts it up in his hat. Got there all like it's like noon, and it's summertime. So it's hot. Oh man, put there full
Big
time.
old lipper.
Yeah, he's out there, man. When he sat out there, you just start seeing him get a little woo. He wasn't spitting, he was swallowing everything.
Mm.
He's dude, he was so he must have got sick for like 3 hours. He just sat on the one bank. We all kept fishing out there. But coming back across, I mean, it was a great memory. And then I was up there all the time. There, searched all around the area, fished different parts. Back then, we didn't have GPSs, so you used Rand McNally's maps.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I had a map book, and it's how I got everywhere. I mean, that's how I found spots. It wasn't like, hey, let me get on my Google Earth and check this shit out. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. No. But anyway, that's to answer your question. Yeah, that's probably my
No.
first time. That's probably like a really good. So that's where I get hooked, like on the smallies. Smallies are fun.
Mm. I'm going to continue asking questions for a little bit.
Okay.
What is what was your surprising day? Like, what took you off guard?
Um,
And you could say past on this,
no.
but
4 days before I got married, I went to Holtwood. Cold ass day. Got a bucket of minnows, maybe about 50, 60 minnows in the bucket, and took my ultralight and another rod. Went to the flat rock, you know the flat rock.
I know the flat rock.
So I sat there and I had a fanny pack at the time. All I took was hooks with me and stuff like that. I
Was
did,
this in the 80s?
yeah,
Before?
well, it was a bigger one like that. Like
No, I got
I have one up there that I carry trout fishing sometimes with me. Um, but yeah, it was just like I had that on. So I had a couple of lures and stuff sitting out there. Smallest minnow. Where was that big? Smallest freaking minnow. Put a hook on it. Barely could get the hooks right, but I was only had 2 minnows left. I just tossed it out, and it went from me to maybe to my wall over there. It didn't go far, and I just pulled some line. I had a little loop loop. I started pulled it out, got it tight, sat it down. My other line, I had a bigger minnow, but that was also my bigger pole. That was my ultralight. I cast it out. And then my bigger pole, I cast that out. I had a nice 5 inch sucker on that. Cast it out almost all the way to the dam. Just let it swim. No weight, no nothing. Just let it do its thing out there. And so all of a sudden that line starts moving instantly. The big one. So I'm like, so grab the line, nothing. Lift up, set it back down. So it's windy. Windy is the key word here because when the wind blows, your line's stretched out, and you know, being on the flat rock, you're elevated a little bit. So the air blows my line and puts a big bow in it.
it.
Oh,
Also moves your tip.
right. But this was basically what was happening was the wind was blowing like this with my line, so I had a big bow in it, both lines. So all of a sudden, the one with the big sucker on it just starts running. And I mean, I'm talking, dude, it just starts going. It went totally straight. Grab my line, lift it up real easy. You feel it. Dude, I set the freaking hook. 26-inch walleye. I'm like, holy shit, hell yeah, this is awesome. I was all fired up. I'm like, this is great. Not my biggest. My biggest there is 26 3/4, so that's my biggest one.
But still,
Yeah,
amazing thing.
yeah. So anyway, I go back. I take that line off and I sit it down. Back then, I was like I was going to keep the walleye, but my buddy took the picture with me with the walleye. Then I threw my other line that was out, the ultralight. Started reeling it in real slow. All of a sudden, I feel, oh shit, a bite. I didn't think there was anything on, so it was 10 feet away from me the whole time. And all of a sudden, so I sat there and I felt it going. All of a sudden, now I'm using 4 pound test. I have the smallest minnow in the bucket on. That's This thing just starts going. It's running. There's nothing. I spin the line, and I'm on an ultralight, so I don't have a lot of line on the reel. That's another thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm lifting up, and I can feel the weight of the fish. I'm like, this is a monster walleye, or it's a big ass catfish. So just as I'm getting ready to set my hook, I sat there and I was just like, I felt like it was slack a little bit. All of a sudden, I see my line, and it's coming directly at me in the rock, like coming back at me. It's Now this is November, so it's fucking cold outside. So I start reeling as fast as I can. Get all my slack because it was coming at me fast. All of a sudden, I set the hook. I'm like, and I just felt the head shaking. I was like, nah. My mind, no way it's a walleye. Definitely a catfish. So I'm sitting there battling, 5 minutes battling on this thing. This thing, every time I got up to where I thought I was going to be able to see it, just started running. Get up again. Literally, I look up and finally getting it up near the top of the rock. It's a muskie. And I'm like, oh
Oh
shit.
shit!
The whole time I thought it was a catfish. So I'm out there just playing around my line. You know, I mean, all of a sudden it's a muskie. Straight panic mode. Oh shit, man!
Yeah, right.
It was my first one. Reeled it up, man. Got up, battled, got it right near the rock, like where the flat rock is. There was another rock. I was trying to get it up on there. Just as those point, dude, that son bitch turned around did 90 miles per hour across that damn dude. Just started going. I'm just holding my line. Falling back in. There was guys working on top of the dam. They had like their workers up there. 3 guys came down, walked all the way around down to the rock to where I was at to get my picture with the muskie and everything. I didn't have my camera,
But you got it.
but I got pictures. I ended up bringing it home. It was 37 inches. It was just legal, so I brought it home. And I didn't want to kill it, but it was only a tiger muskie,
Uh-huh.
and it was my first one. Then I went out a year ago. We went out for that muskie trip, and we were catching 40 inches. Whole different ball game.
Whole different ball game.
Muskie, a lot of fun now. But anyway, go ahead. Fire away your next question.
Biggest disappointment.
Biggest disappointment in fishing.
Um, or let me rephrase that. Worst loss. When you lost the fish.
Oh, there's so many.
I had to. I know
Oh,
there's. I can tell you something, but that's a tough one.
90s, in the 90s, early 90s. Fishing Peach Bottom. Fishing the spillway out where the warm water comes out.
Let me stop you there. Just for the worst loss. Worst loss is a tough category for fishermen because there's so many that you feel the hit and you have on and you never knew what it was. So my worst loss, it's like when you got the taste.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you know, and then
But
you couldn't finish.
yeah, like this day was bad. So caught a catfish earlier in the day. This is all one day. Now when we used to go, this is in February. Warm water, so the water's 68 degrees. Way we would walk down the side of the
And it's
hill.
peach bottom.
Yeah, it was Peach Run. We walked down the side of the hill. We had permission from the landowner up top, so we'd walk straight down to the spillway. We'd sit down there all day long and fish. Had an 8 inch catfish on line, big pole. So we're out there. I had a smallie, and no lie, to this day, it's still the biggest smallie I've ever seen in my entire life. That thing had to be 30 inches. had to be 6, 7, maybe even 8 pound. It was trying to eat my 8 inch catfish.
That's a
So
small.
it was a smallie. So anyway, so I get the catfish in, I cast it back out again. Freaking, I catch a walleye. The walleye's got the whole catfish, but doesn't have my hook, man. I reeled the walleye up. When I went to lift it up, he had already severed the whole thing, man. And
Really?
I got the catfish head. Freaking ate the,
But
I
you had the wall.
had the
You
walleye.
brought it in.
I know I brought it up when I went to bring it up because there was like a little spillway, so there's a little ramp. I was trying to lift it up. When I went to lift it up, the walleye fell in the water, and all I got was the catfish's head. It actually bit right through the catfish.
Okay.
So anyway, that same day, I had a line, so I missed one. We were missing a lot of big fish that day. So my one pole, they had like a little chain link fence behind us, and I just tucked my fishing pole in there, had it wedged in there. Big hit, battle, fighting, fighting, fighting. Get up near the edge, big carp. I'm talking probably 30 some pound carp. I'm like, this is great. Got it in. I did get the carp in. Didn't have a scale back then, but I'm just trying. Well, I'm estimating my weight, but this thing was probably like 36 inches.
Hmm.
This is a monster carp. So I cast back out, live minnow, cast out. Big minnow, big hit, man. Definitely not a carp. I put my rod into the chain link fence. My other rod's bouncing, so I'm trying to grab that rod. Next thing you know, right out of the freaking chain link fence. I actually had it tied. It untied. It must have been bouncing so hard and went
You
out.
lost it.
Lost it. So that was my worst loss. One day I lost my biggest smallmouth or something, and whatever the hell hit my freaking line. Lost the pole, everything. It went, dude, it literally launched. It went up in the air.
That sounds like one of these when I
Dude, it
surf fish running down.
and the only other really bad time, I think, was this year. Well, it wasn't a disaster, but it was bad. When trying to catch my first bowfin, and I had a bowfin. So I got, I can just didn't get it in the net. It happens.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, but that's more frustrating. But yeah, other than that, but that was my most disappointing day of Peach. I mean, there's many. I could sit there for days.
Oh, we can
I
get
missed
off.
my. So you've been on the Conestoga with me.
Hmm.
You went to the farm where
Yeah.
we parked. You know what I'm talking about. I was fishing there one day with a minnow. Throw it out, let it go down, and it would go down into the current, and then it would come up along the bank. So I had to throw a big sucker out. I had my biggest walleye hooked in there, big walleye, and it literally just it came right up. It's kind of funny. I actually talked to my buddy Phil um, last night, and I was, or maybe it was the night before, and I was just telling him how he was with me that day. I had it hooked. It would have been the biggest walleye I would have ever caught in my entire life. It was a monster. I've never seen another walleye up ever since I had that one hooked.
Really?
But literally, it ran, and you would think, oh god, it's getting into shallow water. But then I felt a tug, and I'm like, oh, I'm not way in shallow water. I'm just bouncing off rocks. But no, I was actually one had a pretty good walleye, so that was disappointing too. But go ahead, fire away. Next question.
Next question. Your scariest day. When did you think you were in real danger fishing?
I was on the Susquehanna in the Holtwood Dam.
I
Actually,
actually know this.
no, I'll tell you another one. I won't even use that story.
No, use that story. That's a good one.
Me and my buddy went fishing Holtwood.
Unless you just don't want to.
No, no, no. We went in November, um, around Thanksgiving, and this is '90s, early '90s when we did this. So we were young kids. We were out there. We were catching walleye, and we were having the best day of our life. And it started snowing. And if anybody knows Holtwood Dam, it's freaking straight freaking rocks all the way across.
Big rock. Like, you think of a jetty where you go down to the beach. Think of those, except they go up 30 feet.
Yeah. Matt's been to Holtwood. He knows what it's about. There's a lot of rocks.
That's not an easy
But
place.
clear across the dam where the fish ladder is now. That's where we would walk to, and that wasn't there. The fish ladder, it was actually over probably another 80 foot. So that's all been built way out into the dam now. It didn't used to be that close. But anyway, we were fishing over there. Best day of our life. Snow keeps falling. They sound the sirens for the dam. Me and my buddy are just sitting down there, and we're like, "What's going on?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, we're good. Hurry up, one more cast. We needed one more walleye, so we both had our limits." Kept casting, kept casting, kept casting. Finally, we just started. We had to leave. Problem was, is all the rocks froze, so we only have like a half hour to get all the way across. Which normally, if it's dry, you're still taking probably a good
that's an
20 minutes.
effort.
Yeah, and that's and 20 minutes is you really hustle and pushing it, hurting yourself getting across. Um, but anyway, we ended up having to walk this high mountaintop because the water came up so high. We did make it. I'm here. My buddy made it. He's somewhere now. We don't talk anymore. Um, but the waters came up. We walked through the water. I was up to probably my chest in water in the spot. I had to walk down to Normanwood Bridge, which is probably a mile downriver to get out. And when we did go out, like I said, it was deep to where it was up high, but it wasn't running fast as it was up there. You were able to like walk across. I probably didn't go up to my chest. I think it was just running in my chest because I was running down and stuff. So we get out of the water, we get on land. I did not kiss the land. I was just thanking God that I made it out as I thought I was a dead man. We walk up to my truck. I still have my five walleye. I didn't lose my stringer. My other buddy lost his stringer. I kept all my tackle and I kept all my fishing poles. My buddy lost his tackle box and he lost one fishing pole and he lost his walleye and he lost his minnow bucket. I came out with everything I went in with. I came out and made it. I get to my pickup truck, start putting stuff in the pickup truck. They cop, fire trucks, ambulances, helicopter flying over Haltwood, all this kind of stuff. They knew we were stuck down there, so they brought all the rescue crews in. We're throwing the stuff in my truck. State cop, game wardens, news people. They walk up to us and they're like, "Hey, are you the two guys that were down in there?" We're like, "Oh yeah, we were down there fishing." They looked at us. They were so glad that one cop said, "We were betting you guys were gone and dead. You guys made it. We made it out. We made it out of there." So that was a scary time. And then I had another scary time out there, but it not as
Beaver
great,
shark?
huh?
Beaver?
No, the beaver sharks are always bad. You gotta watch out for the beaver sharks. Um, but no, it's bad. It was not as bad as that one, but that was
What was the other one? You could.
yeah. It's not. It doesn't compare. It just doesn't compare. But it's scary when you're out there because you slip and fall and break a freaking leg. Nobody's pulling your ass out of here. You gotta get your freaking ass out of there.
Listen, I could throw you over my shoulder and
No, me,
carry you up.
no, me, you could. But if you fell, I ain't throwing you over my shoulder.
No.
I'm dragging you by your shirt and dragging you over all the rocks. I
Yep.
kind of get you a back pain too. But but no, I mean, it's not a place to go play.
No. It's
And
not a coat.
it, it's
You
beautiful. It's nice,
you
peaceful.
need to be prepared. It's not a an experience. Can of Worms, Bobber Place. This is a real place, which actually is interesting because like there's so many places like and people think about fishing where you're sitting tucked in on the bank with a straw hat, and that's not where we fish.
Yeah, it's definitely not where we fit.
Okay, next,
Oh,
funniest,
oh God.
where you like had something happen that was so, and I could tell you, like just you and me being
Oh,
together between your pet duck and shit like that. But
oh
I
man,
know there's other things.
funnies. Oh man, I would really incriminate myself on this one. Um,
You don't work for the school like I do.
yeah, no.
You,
So when
you're
we were
independent.
so when we were younger and we would fish, we would take water bombs with us, small ones, so that we could put water in them and bong hits while we're out there fishing. So we were out there one day, we were fishing, doing some binger rips, and get together with about 10 guys, video cameras, and everybody's puffing. It was a good time. I mean, it was. But there's been again. That's another loaded question because I could tell you
Oh,
15,
I know.
20 stories. But I mean, that was a good time. It were the good times when we'd all get together down there and laugh and hang out and just stuff. But I think of a really good funny one. Oh man, I got all kinds of them. Yeah, my one buddy used to always fall in the water.
We used to go out there catfishing off of boats, take a 30 pack and just dump the whole thing in the water because they float. And the water was cold. So whenever felt like if someone needed a beer, just paddle over. Like there was, it's like simpler time, you know.
Funniest, funniest thing, funniest story. Beach bottom. I don't know if it's safe to say this on here. We were partying hard, and the little Tweety birds were getting on our nerves. First thing in the morning, hour out there, you know, drank it down with a beer. Me and my buddy looked at each other. Birds getting all right. Early in the spring when everything's starting to bloom, that lime green. You look down, you can
Yeah,
see all the leaves.
when the peepers are going,
All of a sudden, we're sitting there. We look out. There's nobody fishing in front of the chef, and we
tell them
look
for
at.
a second.
So I'll continue with this story. You're gonna miss it,
You'll
but
fill me in.
anyway, a boat comes by, and it looked like the tiniest little boat. That's how the day began, and it was the funniest day. It was the best day of fishing. I believe that day I watched the leaves grow out there. That's how special of a day it was. They were the good old days. Them days don't happen no more though. But Matt, you were at Holtwood. What you think of your first experience there? It was cold. Yeah, yeah. A lot of rocks. I run across them. Literally, I run across them. Yeah. Been doing it since I was 16. I still can get across pretty good. I take my time a little bit now. I don't really rush across anything. Yeah, but I used to jump. I would do little jumps. I have like a 3 foot thing that I would just jump. Now I'm all like, yeah, right. I'm walking around it. I'm walking up the next rock, making it worse on myself. But I'm kind of scared to jumping and roll right down the other side of rocks, lose my balance. But anyway, yeah. They left me with the funniest story, but that was a real funny story because the state and shape that me and my buddy were in, I ain't never laughed so hard. We did some crazy shit that day. And this old guy come up, we used to call him Hillbilly. He came up in a canoe with a gas motor on it. We went back the next day fishing on Sunday, and that guy said, I don't know what you two boys were doing yesterday. He goes, but you guys were funny as hell all day. Yeah, it's all about the state and shape. But yeah, Mike's coming back. So, Mike, I'm ready for our next question. I told him my funny story. I just didn't tell him the state and shape I was in, but I told him I saw the leaves grow that day. I watched leaves grow on the bushes that day.
Oh, so you were under the influence.
Oh, yes, very under the influence.
Okay. So actually,
I
like,
watched the blood run through the fish's body.
okay.
Yeah. 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 All right, go ahead.
So I could actually go. I actually love this because I'm learning some stuff about you too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Next one, far away. We can even go a little over tonight. We started late.
what of recent time is your proudest moment? fishing. Like, what do you think you've accomplished? Doesn't have to be recent. From when you were a kid, looking at you as an adult now.
I used to fish bass tournaments, so I did a lot of that early. Then I got married. I got back into it again. Didn't get into it as much once I was married as I did when I was a kid. But I did fish in a lot of like third one watcher goose. I did a lot of tournament fishing as a kid. I didn't have as much like support as he did, but I fished a lot of tournaments. Um, but I went out one day, went fishing, had a live well, me and my buddy. It was a two-man team thing. Tournament was over at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We had our limit bass, 7:45 in the morning. We were trying to catch bigger bass for the day. We
Just stuff them with weights.
no, oh no, we were legit. First of all, everybody laughed at us. We got in this little red and blue wooden boat, 10 foot. We used to call it the blue goose. That's what we used to call it because the red would be underwater, the blue would be on top. And the old Octorara Lake, so you know where we launched from.
Yep.
There's a little bridge that goes underneath the road. Me and you crappie fished
Yep.
one time on
I
those.
know exactly where.
The water used to be really low underneath it. We were on that side fishing at 11:45. Remember, tournament's over at 2 o'clock. We opened the live well. We forgot to turn the motor. All our fish died. So you lose a pound for every fish. When I tell you losing that pound per fish was so big, we had 25 pounds of fish. Right now, we were sitting on the lake record at the time. Me and my buddy, we threw the bass back in water. You know what I mean? All we could do is we got to catch 5 fish. So we put the fish in. 4 of the 5 fish swam again. So it was kind of cool. I mean, it was running, but one of the last bass we did when we hit it in there, so it probably didn't have water running in it for about an hour and a half. So, but they still died. Oh, they were really stagnant. We just released them because they were going to die. We can't go to the ramp with them dead. Started fishing. You ready for this? God's honest truth. We went into that tournament. We came out from underneath that bridge at 2 o'clock. All these guys are coming from real far away. We pull up. Much all the weigh-ins were last in line. We had number 28 get out. We weighed in 29.34 pounds of largemouth, and we caught bigger fish, and we only had 2 hours. We still had our fish by 2 o'clock. We freaking went in the ramp, put them all down. We won. We set the lake record, and my buddy got lunker that day. He had a 6 pound, 11 ounce freaking largemouth out there. Greatest day of my life fishing. I mean, the first thing, but it was a proud moment because he did set the lake record, and it actually got shattered that year. Somebody else got one better. They brought in 5 6 pounders.
5 6 pounders.
Yeah,
God
that
damn.
lake used to have some monster ones. They're still in there. You just got to go deep. Like when we're fishing and we're fishing the rubber worms and we're tossing them. No, you got to have deep crankbaits. You got to be going down 16, 20 foot. That's where Bubba is. Bubba's sitting down there in the summertime. Well, go ahead. Next question. Fire away.
So right now it's 8:26. So I gotta be careful with the next question. This will probably be my last question. Not that we can't continue this later, but I think I want to end this with what personal are your fishing goals? Not like
For this
just
year.
no, in general, lifetime fishing goals. What do you want to do?
Um,
That's and this is a big one because I know some of the stuff. Like, what is your aspiration for
I
real?
like to do kayak guided trips.
That's what I was
Yeah,
searching for. I'm not just searching for a
yeah,
fish. I'm talking about
yeah.
like the big
Yeah,
picture.
I like to do kayak guiding trips for fish. I would have to be a lot better at what I do. But that's one that's one thing you got to be good. You have to be good on you know multiple waterways and stuff like that to be really good with, especially to run something like that. Um,
You have to be really comfortable with a lot anywhere you're going.
yeah, you really do, and it's tough, but that's what I would really that would be my big thing is probably do that, and then I just want to better myself at fishing, more relaxed. Like last year, I really learned to relax.
Hmm.
Um,
I think
this
we both learned that
I I
last year.
I learned to scale down in what I take, which makes my experience a lot better now when I go because I have a
Last year was a huge learning experience for
but
both of us.
yeah, like for the snakeheads for me because it was my first full year fishing for them, and to end up with 80 for the year, I think was amazing, especially after the beginning of the year. I would have hit 100 if I didn't miss all the fish I missed earlier from my side hook instead of my straight. But by the end of the season, dude, I was on them, man. I was lighting them up. But I mean, I got my goals like that. I got my one. I want to catch a bowfin. Northern pike, not this year. I'll get somewhere eventually to go up and grab one. I might get lucky and catch one on the river somewhere. I go up further north sometime. But other than that, yeah, I just want to take it easy. Ready for the
And
spring.
enjoy
Hmm?
just to I
Yeah,
can't
this is
wait
afterwards.
water, man.
Well, what sucks for me is I like to take pictures, and I can't take freaking pictures because I'm not out on the water. I mean, I can take pictures. I can drive places and
No,
take
I know,
pictures,
but
but
you're
like
right.
I'm one of them guys. I want to see the wildlife out. Like it's like I can go to local state parks and I can walk up to their waterways and take pictures of the ducks, the geese, and stuff like that. I like it better when I'm
And
out on.
rocks that you think are
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. But I like when I'm out on the water
But
because then I know they're rocks and not duck. They know ducks and not rocks, and we vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I like being out on the
you and
water.
I are built the same in that way. Like
I just like being out
I
there.
the being out in the water, whether it be 6:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock at night, that's my church. That's my
Yeah.
peace. That's my therapist. That's where I go to rewind.
Like when you go to the lake, for example. So when we fish around here, let's say Dragon Rock, you hear the cars, you hear the fire truck,
But
you
they
hear like
disappear.
yeah, well they do, they go, but you hear it. You go to New Jersey. There's a bunch of freaking damn highways everywhere and stuff. So you constantly hearing cars. You get out there sometimes and you get out far enough, it disappears. Yeah. Then you get out and you go to places like Octorary Lake, and you get out there and you hear the eagles, you hear the hawk, you hear all the different so quiet out there. Susquehanna is the same way. Get to the Susquehanna, you get on the river, it's quiet. You enjoy yourself. I enjoy that quietness. That's nice quietness. I
Well,
need more times like that.
this is what Scott and I have talked about. Our friend Scott, that magic hour. Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour before we're got stuff going around. You're so focused on them. You hear the blow ups, and you
Yeah,
hear, and the birds are coming in for their last drink. And
good times, man.
I'm right now. I'm really starving for. I'm
Yeah,
really starving for that connection that every fisherman feels with water that they fish on. Really starving.
yeah.
Anyway,
We're running a little over.
no, but this
But
was
I
actually
get
a
ready to close.
really
I shut us down. Yeah, give us a second.
good. We've been doing this for a year, and no one really who Mazman or Mike, me, and Ray are as fishermen. This gives a lot of insight to where you're at and what you've done.
Yeah. But like I'm a I'll fish for largemouth, smallmouth. I'll go out deep sea fishing. Not a lot. Not a big deep sea fisherman, but I'll do it. But I do a little bit of bait fishing, kayak fishing, snakehead fishing. You name it, I pretty much do it. I like
Both of us, and I go into crabs.
Yeah,
you know, like last year, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out crabs. I got it, so I don't have to spend that time this year. But
you
like,
can get it off the corner street.
mine are better.
Go down and go get right at the corner of the street down there. So I'll be out there for you.
Hmm. So, guys, um, share your stories. Share your. You can answer any of the questions, right? Besides that, um, about time to end. Love y'all, and right?
We are gone fishing. It's warming up, baby. Woo!
Oh yeah, and that was the weakest woo.
I don't want to be
No, it does on on nope on on YouTube.